What happens when the Simpsons live in a reality TV mansion? The Simpsons' house is overrun by termites. Homer falls off the toilet. Bart shatters the doorknob when he grabs it. Marge could even see across to Flanders. The Simpsons' house needs a full extermination, so they arrived at a residence provided by a reality TV show. Here, Bart needed to wear a little outfit. Homer wears a urinal on his head. Marge's cooking is hard work. The only way they can go out is by steam car, then by pre-1895 supplies. At night, Maggie sleeps in a cage. Homer takes off Marge's clothes and realizes she's wearing iron goods. The Simpsons' lives were miserable, but the audience in front of the TV watched with great. Marge begins to try to come to terms with her life. Bart also sends messages by telegraph. Their pickled peaches were eaten by Homer, and Homer made Maggie a pacifier out of wood. Gradually, they got used to it, but the viewers in front of the TV were not satisfied, and changed the channel. So the crew came up with a plan. Homer fell into the water when he went out. He found the house in the river. Homer was pulled up into the house, and immediately rushed into the studio, then complained to the director. At that point, the house entered the fast-flowing watershed. After the crash in the waterfall, they reached the shore. In an instant, the house collapsed. What happens when Homer always encourages Bart unconditionally? Young Homer was a gymnast, but Abel never encouraged him, causing him to miss out on the competition. Homer looks out the window at Bart. He decides he can't make the same mistake, so he goes out and hugs Bart, and Bart keeps throwing chairs at him, and he announced that Bart was going to be the team's center fielder. During the game, Bart was being attacked by his opponents. Homer picks up Bart and encourages him. When he got the ball, he was mobbed again. Bart was covered in bruises and mud. Homer kept encouraging him even after the game was over, causing his teammates to take turns blaming Bart. Nelson grabbed Bart and threw him in the mud. Bart was practicing in the middle of the night. He met a football star. The football player decides to teach Bart a few tricks. Just as he was about to speak, the car was repaired. Bart looked at the tire and thought about what the player had said. The next day, Bart showed up at the practice field with a bandage on. Homer told Nelson to give the referee the waiver. Bart threw down his crutches and argued with Homer. They parted on bad terms. Homer went to the game room and found Bart and apologized. The next day during the game, Homer planned his tactics. The sheriff comes to arrest Nelson. In order to win the game, Bart replaced Nielsen and got into the police car, and Nelson won the game. How will the Simpsons cope when the hurricane arrives? The dog will wake up Homer in his hammock. It will be blown away by a hurricane. Bart would duct tape Maggie's pacifier. Homer would take the door off and nail it to the window. Fran will show off the protective devices. He prepared for the house to Homer, and then the hurricane got worse and worse. Just as Marge and Lisa came home from shopping, they quickly hid in the basement. The hurricane was so destructive. It toppled the roof of the prison. It helped the prisoners escape. Prisoners who were blown away by the hurricane, electrocuted. There's no entertainment in the Simpsons' basement. They're just sitting around. Marge noticed that the wind speed had weakened. Homer was going to run out of the basement. Lisa stops him and tells him it's the eye of the hurricane. He crawls out of the basement. He sees that the bowling alley has been blown away by the hurricane. He immediately ran to the basement entrance. He was swept up by the hurricane. With the help of his family, he made it back to the basement. Marge was so scared, he got down on his knees and prayed. The hurricane cleared and the sun came out.
Fell for it. Go, Marge.
Everything will work out. Have faith.